Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Breaking Bad Season 4, Episode 13, the season finale review. And I'm here with...
AJ Talent?
You didn't say your full name in this video.
I mean, kinda. It's like my initials.
Yeah, but you said, your whole name last time, so...
Yeah. Oh, fine.
But yeah.
Alan Talent. Be fancy with it.
And I'm obviously I'm Owen Finch. You should know who I am because I've been on this channel for
channel.
Yeah. And this episode is called Face Off. And obviously we were wondering what that meant. Well, we thought it meant something else.
You learn by the end of the episode
that it's actually a very fitting title. So, this episode came out, I think, October 9th, 2011. Let me just check. Yep, I remember that because it came. The last one was October 2nd, and it's obviously a weekly thing. So
when the last one came out, I was 9. When this one came out, I was 10. I was 10 when the last one came out, and it was 11 when this one came out.
Well, no, yeah, because it's October. Isn't your birthday October 10th?
No, it's 5th.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I was 10 on the last one, 11 on this one.
You grew a whole age when this episode came out. So
I know, right? I was a whole year wiser.
Sort of, well, at least by a few days. So
yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about this episode because obviously this is
easily top 3 episodes for me, and arguably one of the best episodes.
Yeah, this is probably top 3 for me. I don't know which one I like better, this one or the first episode, because I like the first episode a lot.
First episode is pretty good. Season 5 has a lot of real good header episodes.
Yeah, at the end we do have to, because season 5 is going to be different because season 5 I obviously I didn't read the spoilers or anything, but I saw the dates and I see it has a mid-season and a mid-season finale and a mid-season premiere and stuff. So
yeah, obviously it's all just season 5. It was just scheduling issues.
Yeah, because obviously they renewed it for a new season after this. They actually weren't sure if they were going to renew it for a new season. They were obviously debating it, and obviously they did because can you imagine what a lot of people would have said too if they didn't renew it for a new season? Breaking Bad would have been
it's ended on a pretty big cliffhanger, so it's
yeah. The ending that probably happened would have been different, obviously. So because they wouldn't have ended it, because they're not going to end a series off a cliffhanger unless the show gets canceled or something. Yeah. So, but let's talk about this episode. So the episode opened up with pretty much Walt dislodging or dislocated the bomb from Gus's car, and pretty much they have the exact same conversation we had the last review where we goes into the.
Jesse's like, "What do you mean he didn't go to his car?" And Walt's like,
yeah.
"I guess he just grew a 6th sense and decided not to go."
Yeah.
And I really like the conversation they had after that, where Jesse's like, "Why'd you bring a bomb to a hospital?" And he's like, "Well, was I supposed to just leave it on his car? So you brought it to a hospital, you know?"
Yeah, that was funny.
Jesse has a good point, don't bring a bomb into a hospital, but Walter also has a good point. You can't really just leave a bomb on the guy's car.
Yeah. It's kind of a surprise, though, obviously, that, this takes place, after 9/11, that they can kind of get away with that type of stuff. And I bet they wouldn't have, if this had happened a little after the Boston bombings, there was no way he would have got in there with this bag.
Right.
But obviously this episode aired before the Boston bombings, so
yeah.
And obviously because we never really talk about this that much. Breaking Bad's time frame isn't actually 2011. It's 2009-ish because they said it's a year after Walt got
right.
his cancer, so it's probably 2009 in their time frame. But then some FBI agents. Spoiler alert from when you watch Walking Dead. One of them's in Walking Dead. The one, obviously they said their names, but it's really not important, so we're not really gonna say their names. And yeah, it was oh wow, I can't even find it, but obviously we don't need to say it. It's not really important. And pretty much they come to talk to Jesse because because Jesse mentioned that Brock was poisoned, and mentioned, that it was ricin and stuff, they think Jesse probably is the one that poisoned him. So they pretty much take Jesse down to the
or at least
FBI.
that he had a hand in it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
like I don't think they don't thought he poisoned him because like he was the one who brought it up.
Yeah.
So I think they just thought like he had ricin on him and he shouldn't have ricin on him.
Yeah, exactly. So they put him down to the FBI station, pretty much. And
he's pretty much out of the whole episode getting interrogated.
Yeah, and we'll say that
the only downs of this is like I get why it happened, but it was kind of like sucks to see like Walt and Jesse are finally teaming up after last episode. Now it's like, not really.
That's like the only bad part of this episode, really. So,
right. But even then, like Jesse still gets stuff done, just not as much as I would have liked.
Yeah, and pretty much the first like scene after they do the intro is Jesse being interrogated and stuff, and saying that he's gonna call Saul, and yeah, that's obviously an unintentional reference.
Nah. I mean, it is catchphrase in the show.
Yeah. And I like the next scene is pretty much Walter breaks into Saul's office or the building, and the mistress, who was like secretary, says that Saul, I liked how like the secretary too like went off on Walter after this, pretty much like saying that like all of our jobs pretty much are screwed now because you and Jesse can't keep yourselves out of trouble and stuff like that. Like she's
got a point. Like everything was running smooth, and then Walt and Jesse come in, and then someone's trying to kill him every other week.
Yeah. So he wants Saul's phone number, like his actual phone number. So she pretty much bribes him with money so that way they can get the door fixed. And I like this scene because Walter gives her like $17,000, and she's like, "Yeah, this is gonna cost $25,000." And no, at first she says 20,000, and Walter's like, "There's no way the guy's gonna charge you $20,000." And then she like right when Walt melts off, she puts it up to $25,000. Like,
I think it's like Walt thought she was being serious, and then when she said that, he was like, "Oh, I get it."
And I like too because Walt actually goes back to his car. And he doesn't like use the door to get out. He uses like the glass that he used to break. Like,
yeah, I mean, hey, if you break a hole and you're paying $25,000 for it, might as well use it.
Exactly. So then Walt goes back to his house, and obviously that at this point Walt's driving a different car because that kind of is important within this episode, and he calls the neighbor. Because he knows that hitmen are going to be waiting for him when he goes to the house.
And that's kind of messed up with Walt, like he almost got his neighbor killed.
Yeah.
That was like a sweet middle-aged woman, like.
Yeah. It was kind of like an Eisenberg thing to do. You saw a lot of Eisenberg than Walt in this episode, so.
This was 100% Heisenberg.
And, obviously, I think he pretty much has to go in there lying, saying that Walter Jr. left the burner going, but obviously, that's all made up. So, so she pretty much goes in there. The hitman leaves to prevent them from being seen, and Walt's watching all this on his binoculars. And I like how she calls, and Walt's just like, "I owe you big time," because obviously she pretty much just saved his life right here and stuff. Yeah. So
like she was like, "Oh, okay, no problem," and then he was like, "No, for real, like I almost died."
Yeah, like more, like she did more for Walt than she thought she did, and Walt sneaks into the crawl space to get the money for Saul, and then Saul. I'll let you talk about the stuff with Saul.
Okay, sure. So Saul is Jesse's attorney, so he goes to meet with Jesse and trying to defend him for a little bit. Then Jesse informs him of Hector at the retirement home and how on their way back from Mexico they stopped there and Gus loved to just torment him and torture him about how he killed his whole family. So Saul meets with Walt at just like a house building or something. I don't know, like they were under construction house.
Yeah, probably somewhere
at first when I saw it, I thought it was the house that Tuco held Jesse and Walt captive in.
Yeah, I thought so too. But but it was pretty much like an undisclosed location, so they can't, be seen together and stuff like that.
Right. And then Saul's just trying to give him anything he can on Gus, because he wants Gus out of the picture too, because Gus might be coming for him.
Yeah,
all these guys want Gus out of the picture. He's too powerful.
Yeah, I did like too, like some of the stuff that he mentioned about like pretty much Saul like brought all this stuff, and some of like the quotes that Saul would say, like how they were, like sticking their dicks in a beehive, and he has to like also pay the price for it and stuff like that too. Like
it's also very Saul.
Kind of just Saul being Saul.
Not very elegant, but it's appropriate.
Yeah. So yeah, so pretty much, and obviously too, Walt's obviously met Hector before, because they met when Tuco kidnapped him.
Yeah. Not the best not the best way to meet someone.
No. So like obviously like Walt when he goes to the retirement home, Walt tells Hector, like, even though we don't like each other, it's kind of like keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer type of thing. That's pretty much what's going to happen here.
Right. Not even. It was like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say.
He got the chance would absolutely kill Walt, but he looks at it like Walt only indirectly killed Tuco, where Gus directly killed his whole family. Yeah,
because really, like, Walt didn't kill. It was Hank that killed Tuco. Really, it wasn't Walt.
By the way, like, this isn't a spoiler or anything, but in Better Call Saul, which takes place in the past, we see a bit more of Tuco. I mean, not Tuco. Hector.
Okay.
And I don't know. Looking back on these episodes is very cool from that point of view.
Okay, yeah. So
he was.
Yeah. So pretty much what happens is Hector, because he can't speak, the nurse has like a bingo card. And obviously he wins the bill when they get to a letter and stuff like that. And she has him spell out need DEA. And obviously she's dumb and doesn't understand what DEA means. So she's like, you didn't finish the word. But obviously we knew what was going to...
probably had to go through the whole, like, what it stands for.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened because we didn't really see that part. But I'm going to guess, like, she eventually...
He'll make dogging.
So, of course, at the perfect time, Walter Jr. calls Walt and is like... Because pretty much the stuff with Hank's still going on, and everyone's kind of like, where the hell are you? Your brother-in-law, his life is being threatened, and all you care about is your car wash. And Walt's even like saying, like, this has nothing to do with me. So, but this kind of leads into like the next scene where Gomez comes back to Hank's house, and Hank is still trying to investigate the laundry, where Walt and Jesse cook the meth and stuff. And he realizes, like, there's pretty much, like, how much power goes into, like, producing the factory. Wouldn't take up that much power because he did, like, a group chat with, like, electricians that told him all this stuff. So Gomez, which really I didn't really need to mention that because now that doesn't mean anything anymore. So, Gomez
kind of pointless after what happened.
Yeah. So Gomez
it was just kind of there to show that Hank's not just, sitting around.
Yeah. So Gomez tells Hank that they brought somebody into the DEA, but he doesn't want to talk to it was Hector. He doesn't want to talk to anybody but Hank. So
and keep in mind, Hector hates a lot of people. He hates Walt, he hates Jesse, he hates Hank. He hates Gus. He hates a lot of people.
Yeah. So what happens is everybody's trying to talk Hank out of it because they obviously think that this is a trap, so that way he can be killed by whoever they think is going to kill him.
They probably think it was the cartel who was trying to kill him.
But obviously they found out that he hasn't been part of the cartel or any of that, for years. So they pretty much say that it's safe. We did find out that it was a trap, but it wasn't a trap for Hank. It was a trap for Gus. So,
yep, all part of Walt's master plan.
Yeah. So he goes down there pretty much, it was, if you think about it too, like Hank was probably, because like, obviously, Hector, like, just pretty much tells Hank, fuck you, pretty much, and everything like that. And
yeah, he spelled it out, actually.
Yeah.
He spelled it out.
obviously they leave, and I bet Hank was just thinking like, I just wasted my time coming here because it's not like Hank can like easily get in a car now and get here. Like he's got to
Yeah,
like
he had to have someone wheel him in, and
yeah. Um, but then Tyrus sees that Hector's in there, and he calls Gus and tells him about it, and Tyrus goes into Hector's room, and I thought this was funny because because what happens is actually we forgot to mention that when Hector goes back, we see that Walt's been hiding in his bathroom and stuff because obviously Walt can't get seen by anybody in the nursing home because then they're gonna
yeah, he'll be like suspicious and be like,
yeah
oh, really weird that the day that thing happens that we're not talking about yet,
yeah
this random guy just showed up.
yeah that like no one that probably no one that they don't know Hector in any type of way.
Yeah.
But I thought this was funny because when Tyrus is like expecting the woman, you probably didn't see this part when you were skimming through it. So this old lady almost gives away Walt. Like she was like waving to him and stuff, and like she almost blew Walt's cover. So I thought that was funny, and that's obviously bad for Walt. But I'm just gonna assume that like that's never gonna get brought up because she probably thought like she didn't take a medication or something that day, or you know.
Right, and I'm sure it was just like like a jump scare type of thing.
Yeah. So Gus, and everybody else go over to the nursing home, and this was
so the reason they go to the nursing home is because they see Hector leaving the DEA, and they're thinking that he ratted on Gus.
Yep. So, this was a pretty badass scene because just seeing Gus actually go into the nursing home,
also obviously shows he really hates Hector. Like he's like, no one else can kill him. Yeah, I'm the one who's gonna kill him.
And yeah, because that was like the main thing too. Because Tyrus even said like he can just easily go and kill Hector, but Gus.
Right. Imagine if Gus didn't show up. I know. Walt, Jesse, Saul, they're all screwed.
This was like the last chance to finally get Gus right here. Yeah. Like if this didn't work, that was it. Like they weren't gonna have another opportunity. So then what happens is Gus walks into the room. He has and pretty much you want to break this scene down?
Sure.
So we talk about too how Gus like was dressed in darker clothes and stuff in this scene. Like he was because I feel like that's kind of significant. Like anytime you see
like symbolism.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to talk about that.
Like Gus like was in like his like normal clothes you would see him at when he's at his restaurant. But then when you actually saw him go to kill Hector and stuff, he was dressed like in a dark purple clothes. I thought that was kind of symbolism that's kind of like who the real Gus is right now. Kind of like this ruthless killer.
And they do that with Walt too. Like whenever Walt's like his Walter personality, he has like light colors or white.
Yeah.
And later on in the series, as time goes on, or like when he acts like ruthless, he has darker colors.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of saw he was kind of like a mix in this episode because he was kind of Eisenberg, but wasn't fully Eisenberg because he was wearing the lighter colors.
I think he was like wearing like gray colors, which is
yeah. But yeah, you get to break down the big scene right here.
Yep. So Tyrus has Hector there. Gus comes in, shuts the door with a syringe, about to inject Hector. He's just tormenting him the whole time, like calling him like a pathetic man for ratting on the DEA. He didn't actually rat, but like Gus thought he did.
Yeah.
And was about to kill him, and he wanted Hector to look at him. Like that was been the thing. Every time they interact, Gus wants Hector to look at him because he wants to just see him.
And Hector never looks at Hector never looked at him.
It's like if Hector looks at Gus, he admits defeat.
Yeah. And Hector never did.
Well, in a way.
Yeah.
So Hector actually does look at Gus, and like Gus is like surprised. Like that look on Gus's face is actually really cool. Like he's like in disbelief.
We should also talk about too, though, like when he looks at him at first, he looks like all sympathetic and stuff, and then he and then Hector's face like completely changes, like with rage right after.
He's ready to do this.
Yep.
Yeah, starts stinging the bell. Tyrus and Gus are like, "What the hell?" Then Gus sees the bomb, and Gus's face on that one's pretty great.
Yep.
Ah!
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
I mean, hey, Walt made good use of that bomb, blew up her, and I mean, to be fair, Jesse, I mean, we got mad at Walt for bringing a bomb in a hospital. Walt set it off in a retirement home. I don't know if that's much better.
No, but yeah, it was pretty awesome because Gus like explodes and stuff, and like that was like the big moment too. Be like, Walter finally had everything planned out about exactly what Gus was gonna do. Like he was finally one step ahead of Gus in this.
Oh, but R.I.P. Tyrus. I thought your name is. I didn't even know your name until last episode. But
yeah,
R.I.P.
Isn't that kind of
the best character?
Like we were messing up his name in the last few episodes. We finally learned the guy's name. We're never gonna see him. Never gonna see him again.
We saw him. He's over there and over there and over there. I think a little bit of the spleen's over there.
Yeah. And then obviously you get to talk about the big scene that happens with Gus after the bomb blows up.
Yeah, he walks out, straightens his tie, and it zooms out. You think he survived somehow, and then you see half of his face is gone.
Yep.
And he just falls over and dies. That was probably the best death. Very, very iconic. Most Breaking Bad fans know about that scene. Like that's.
Yeah, it's an awesome scene. And obviously, too, I did like this, like that. Even like Gus still had to look cool, and like even he was going out, like fixing.
Yeah,
his
you
tie.
like researched it too. You found out they've been working on that effect since the season began.
Yeah, because they wanted to, and actually, I don't know. I've never seen him before, but they actually brought in someone. His name is hold on, I clicked the wrong thing. His name is Greg Nicotero. I don't know how to say his last name, but he pretty much does like the special effects from The Walking Dead. I don't know if he still does because obviously
that makes sense. Walking Dead has pretty good effects. I haven't really seen it, but
I don't know if he still does, obviously, because this was filmed in 2011, so obviously a lot can happen in that amount of time. But they actually brought him because obviously it's easy to get him in because I'm assuming you knew Breaking Bad and Walking Dead aired on the same station and stuff. So
yeah, I'm sure it wasn't that hard to get him in. So
that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, this was a very cool scene. And obviously, like I said, probably the best, like one of the most iconic scenes. And I was pretty surprised this happened because this was like 15 minutes before the episode ended. And I was like, what are they going to do now for like the rest of the episode? So it was kind of a nice surprise that he got gotten because I would have thought it was going to happen.
Like, I mean, after you kill Gus, you're kind of on easy street, you know? It's like, you can't really compare to that.
Yeah.
It was just, the rest of it was just like tying up loose ends and,
Yeah.
The rest.
And obviously, I thought they did that very well too, though. Like obviously, we didn't talk about this scene yet, but we're gonna talk about it now because it's kind of important. Jesse, we find out that it actually wasn't the ricin that Brock got poisoned by, which we're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah, that's how the season ended, you know.
Yeah. But he leaves the FBI and he calls Andrea because the FBI agents, of course, don't tell him how he really did get poisoned. I mean, maybe they didn't know either. So he tries to hail for a cab, and obviously that doesn't work. So then he gets kidnapped by the hitmen that were at Walter's house, tased and everything, and nobody noticed it.
Yeah.
And they pretty much force him to work. And so a lot of people that complain like that my boss is forcing me to work, you can't say that anymore because this was forced to work right here. Like,
and also, you know what? Like, this does show that Walter wasn't the only one being affected by Gus. Like, Gus would have probably killed Jesse too or enslaved him.
Yeah. So then the elevator comes down. And obviously, one of the henchmen thinks that it's the other one, because I don't think they said. I mean, I don't think they said their names.
Yeah, even if they do, I don't think it matters what happens next.
Yeah.
And that is Walt putting a cap in that ass.
Yeah, they would. He shoots them dead, and obviously they did like a thing where we didn't really know what happened because they did it off camera. But obviously, I think everyone knew like Walt killed him. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, like who else could it be? Skyler showed up to save Jesse. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Holly or Walter Jr.
Yeah, and he uses the gun to that he bought like earlier in the season that can't be tracked. So like, and then afterwards, he says Gus is dead. We have work to do, and they pretty much burn down the whole place. Like,
Yeah, which is kind of sad, like this has been their base of operations for a while.
yeah, like this,
It's like when they got rid of the RV.
Yeah, so this was like kind of the same scene. Yeah, like it was the base of operation. It was pretty much too like
It was
obviously
cooler though, them lighting it up.
yeah, it was pretty cool too because you know like it was pretty cool because like I said, it was the base of operation. It was pretty much like the setting of like it was like the main set of the whole series. Other than like Walter's house and stuff like that, this was kind of like their main set. Um, and obviously it kind of makes you question like what's gonna happen, like where's gonna be their main base at the end of this, in the beginning of the next season and stuff.
Place to cook.
Yeah. So if you can't think like this is probably, but they kind of had to burn this down too because Hank was very close to finding this place. Like if they didn't burn this down,
they
Hank
left it. They fingerprints everywhere.
Yeah.
Cameras, just everything.
Yeah. So they kind of had to burn it down. And obviously, like at the end, this was definitely Eisenberg here. He even says like whatever the Spanish thing is to like flee the area so they don't burn to death and stuff. And
yeah,
then
so, all those people are out of work, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
The whole place probably got burned down.
Because they obviously were working for Gus too and stuff. So.
Well, I don't think they'll get in trouble for it. They were just at the laundromat.
Yeah. Well, one of like the main guy, like the new maybe like the guy that like Gomez interrogates in the last episode. But probably
maybe him, but other than that, like a lot of them are just immigrants working.
Yeah. I noticed too. One of them was like in the background. We saw one of the ones that like Gus like sent away or something like that. I thought that was kind of weird. But then Walt and Jesse are talking on top of a parking garage, and we find actually you can break this because this scene's very significant.
Yeah, Jesse finds out that it wasn't the ricin that killed, not killed, that poisoned Brock. Brock's gonna be fine. Brock should be fine. But it was actually a flower called Lily of the Valley, and like kids usually just get, they play in it and then they get poisoned. But
because they eat the berries, so they said.
Right.
Which
but Brock lucked out and he should be fine.
Yeah, I actually knew because I've worked with this flower before because like one of the customers that we work for and stuff like always has us pull this stuff out. So obviously, it's like I kind of hate this flower in a way because.
Oh right, you and Tom. Yeah.
So yeah, so hearing about that obviously, and now obviously when I next time I hear about that flower, I can say, well, apparently the berries poison you and stuff, so don't eat the berries.
Yeah, you should probably tell that to Uncle Tom when you're working with him. Hey, Uncle T, maybe don't eat that berry because you will die.
Yeah, or get poisoned.
Which could lead you to die.
Yeah. So Jesse goes to check on him. Then he calls Skylar, and pretty much everything that had gone on with Gus had been all over the news. Because that's how
someone blew up a retirement home,
Yeah. And Walter even found out because it was on the traffic report. Because obviously they have like traffic reports about where it's trafficy, and I think that's how they found out. That's how he found out. But he calls Skylar, and Skylar
doesn't know like it's him at first.
Yeah, but he doesn't really give an answer. He just says they won.
Right, and then Skylar kind of pieces together that Walt was the one who made the boom.
And you could see like Walter was slowly turning into Eisenberg as he was.
He was satisfied. He was like, I beat Gus. It took 3 seasons, but I beat Gus.
Yep.
And Skylar was horrified, So.
Yeah. So because obviously she's starting to see like Eisenberg now. So then Walt gets in his car. Then obviously he's kept the Los Polos like keychain or whatever on his car.
Sorry, back to the parking lot. Like I like that Jesse and like Walt handshake at the end.
Oh yeah. Showing that they're starting to grow
Like they're
more.
good.
Yeah, and like they're starting to, because I don't really think they saw each other really as like friends either. There was more like workers.
Right. Well, no, I do think they had like a father-son relationship. Like they definitely cared about each other.
But yeah, the handshake definitely was like they're finally good. Like all the drama that's gone on this season's over now. So
right. But
Jesse
it might
not
be
be,
like,
but
worried like they didn't have to kill Gus, because he thought the whole reason he helped was because he thought he poisoned Brock.
And speaking of that,
and
they might not be.
But like at the same, Walt was like trying to comfort him or like manipulate him to make him think like, yeah, we needed to kill Gus.
Yeah.
I know that's Walt's like manipulating him, but at the same time, it is like, yeah, they did need to kill Gus. Like he probably would have made Jesse into a meth slave, So
yeah, and obviously he would have killed Walt and his entire family. So
right. We should get a spin-off on that. What if Gus won?
I know, yeah.
That'd be cool.
There's like a spin-off, like I won't say obviously the details, but a Walking Dead character. What if he survived versus Rick?
That's cool.
And because obviously like he would have been the main character, if Rick didn't kill him. And
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I know I'm like ruining the show, but
no, it's cool. Don't worry about it.
It's Shane though. Like, well, how would Shane have handled this situation, and that situation? It's a different thing, but they, like a lot of people make like conspiracy theories about what if he was in this situation. So, but the season ends with a cliffhanger because after Walt gets in his car and leave, the camera and the show shows a scene at, well, I'm just gonna call it his house because that's pretty much where he spends most. Yeah, and what do we see is on the porch pretty much Lily of the Valley, and it wasn't like like Walt had purchased it.
Like it was, it's like Walt poisoned Brock.
Yeah.
Which, man, Walter is messed up. He poisoned a kid,
Yeah, and
like he probably he knew he wouldn't die. Like he gave him the right amount to like not die.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, what if one thing went wrong? Like if he was a little off, Brock would have died.
Yeah, but it was and it makes me question like how he got the poison into him and stuff too. Not like questions, that makes me want to say like that's like making me poke holes in this, but I'm just asking questions like saying like
did Walt pull up to him in a van like, hey kid, you want some berries?
Yeah.
It'll make you feel real good.
Oh, he felt real good, all right. Like.
Yeah. He was dreaming for a few days.
Yeah.
By the way, this whole episode's over one day. That's crazy. That's an eventful day.
Yeah, that's all a day. Like, and that's kind of like what I think is kind of cool about watching like a show like Breaking Bad or Walking Dead. Like some of the episodes, like you could watch like 3 or 4 episodes, and some of it's like 2 days, and it's like, how is this all? How are they doing all this stuff in 2 days?
Hell, not even this episode. Like the last 2 episodes, 2, 3 have been one day.
Yeah. But yeah, but this scene was very badass, and it obviously shows that Walter is becoming Heisenberg.
Oh yeah. I think after the crawl space, it's like Heisenberg is the dominant force here.
Yeah, and then obviously
now, there's no Gus. Walt and Jesse are top dog right now. Like they don't got any strings holding them.
And what's gonna happen? Obviously we get to find out what happens now in season 5, and obviously the cliffhanger is gonna be very good because there's a reason they show. Obviously we know that it's implying that. But obviously they're gonna go back. They're gonna bring this up obviously in season 5 at some point.
Oh yeah, and that'll cause a bit of bit of strife between the two.
Yeah, but I actually thought it was actually it made sense because Walter knew that like he kind of needed Jesse, because if Walter didn't poison Brock, Jesse wouldn't have been able to help him kill.
Right. He couldn't do the solo. Like he needed the help.
Yeah. So, and it gave, even though
Jesse didn't really help that much if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming Walter kind of figured. I mean, obviously too, like Walt, but it kind of did help though, because I think about it like this too. Like Jesse wouldn't have been in the FBI agents with, because obviously he was without cameras when because Gus probably would have found out in a way if he told Saul about this. So him being like in an FBI confined area kind of helped him out in a little bit too. He didn't help his. He still didn't help his. But yeah, A+. I don't. No questions about it. This episode.
Oh, easily A+. Easily.
Just everything. The way it's structured. The suspense.
How long is this recording? Because this is one episode.
This is 35 minutes.
Oh wow, geez. Yeah, we definitely took our time. But like, this was built up forever,
Yeah, and they did it very well because obviously, you don't want to, because if you drop the ball here, then it makes the 2 seasons like pointless to kind of go to.
Right, like this had to be an impactful episode.
Yeah, obviously this is one episode too, but it was really kind of 2 because this episode was 50 minutes long too. So
yeah, it's pretty long.
So this is kind of like 2 episodes in one in a way. So.
And definitely has a lot of impact. Again, I'm not going to say anything like spoilers, but like season 5, this episode has like a lot of ramifications in the future.
I can't wait.
Season 5 couldn't happen the way it did if this episode didn't happen.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see it. But now we got to talk about season 5 because not obviously like not do predictions because obviously that you can't really do predictions, but obviously we kind of have to talk about the structure of those reviews because those reviews are going to be a little different because it has more episodes and it's like a mid-season premiere, mid-season finale and stuff. So, oh yeah, actually, what do you rate the season 4 as a whole? Like,
I give season 4 a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Like there were a few miss episodes and the Skylar plot was dumb, but everything else was just like a real. Out of the park. Like, this was my second favorite season.
I mean, I'll say this because we talked about this.
And Gus is easily the best villain in the show. Like,
yeah. I will say this real quick, obviously because we're talking about the Skylar thing. Had the Skylar thing not happened, though, this episode wouldn't the rest of the season wouldn't have gone down the way it did.
Right, like it's kind of like is the reward worth it? Like it was a great payoff, but like I still don't like the storyline.
Yeah, but obviously too, like, so we're only gonna do season 5. How we're gonna do season 5? Obviously we're gonna do the season premiere just as one episode because it's gonna be very significant. So,
well, we'll probably make a whole channel update video for that stuff.
Yeah, maybe we'll just wait for that then. But that's pretty much the end of this review. Because I also have to eat dinner too. But yeah, any channels you want to plug or promote?
My channel, AJ Talent. That's about it. We're on CM Brothers right now. You got Owen Talkinator.
This is Owen the Talkinator right now, actually.
Okay, well then we're on Owen Talkinator. Plug CM Brothers. There you go.
CM Brothers, we're gonna upload a video Thursday about Red versus Blue, so be on the lookout for that.
Season 1 review.
Yep, and then we're gonna do a channel update video. Probably because it really doesn't matter when we do it. We could do it. We'll probably do it Friday. We'll do it Friday. But I feel like though the biggest thing we actually delivered on a promise. We actually
finished season 4 before January ended.
Yeah,
almost didn't do it.
We almost did. Like if you had to work this week, we wouldn't have done it. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah,
this was definitely a good week. Like where our schedules were open.
Yeah, so Red versus Blue, CM Brothers Thursday. We don't have like a time when it will be up. We talked about it, so just be on the lookout for it. So watch now. People are gonna be like sitting at their computers, like, where's this Red versus Blue video? Like
all 5 people, like, I need to know where is it.
I bet people are looking for this video. Like, where's this video? But but by the way, I like so yeah.
Oh yeah, like two videos in a row, like one yesterday, one today. That's a new record for us.
Well, we did one like one in a day, but I feel like this is still a record, like, so we'll make this is progress right here. We're starting to watch. We're gonna say like we're starting to figure this out, but like next week is gonna like.
Oh no. Actually, I think next week I'm pretty free too, so that should be all right.
Yeah, so next week will be the start of season because we were gonna do a season review. If we do the season reviews though, we're like never gonna finish Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Like,
definitely not.
so I think those will come, but we're gonna finish season 5 first.
Yeah, we'll finish the series and then we'll do.
Yeah, but the next review will just be season 5, episode 1.
Yeah.
But if you want to know how the season 5 review thing is gonna be structured,
Breaking Bad's our top priority right now. Once
Yeah.
we finish that, we'll start doing other things like
Yeah.
Death Note and RVB. Well, we're doing RVB right now. That doesn't take too long.
yeah. So yeah, this is pretty much the end of the video, and we will talk to you guys later.
Peace.